Recording. Greetings, folks. I am Joko. I am an IELTS instructor based in Yangon, Myanmar. And I am here tonight to give feedback to an essay about replacing parks with development. What a ridiculous idea. Who thought of this? What do you think about this, Lorax? Lorax, where are you? Click. Ah, there we are. There's the Lorax. The Lorax doesn't like this idea at all. Cut down the trees. Don't be ridiculous. Well, I'll say goodbye, and we'll go to the feedback now. Okay, so here's our question for tonight. The growth in population in cities means that parks should now. All right. Cool. Where did this question come from? Well, if we look back in Google history using these terms, we can see that this is a reported question. It's something that someone said was part of a test. And it's not from Cambridge. It's not an official question. It's sort of become part of the accepted questions that people answer. There's something missing here. It just seems so one-sided. I mean, who would say that, yes, parks are a bad idea? No, get rid of the parks. More buildings. Yay. Who would say that? I mean, the questions aren't supposed to be so one-sided, aren't supposed to be so obvious. Ah, now it's working. Dear mentors, kindly evaluate my writing and provide feedback for improvements. Thanks in advance. Why are you capitalizing advance? Okay, then we have the question, who are we talking about? It's none other than Imrul Chowdhury. That's right, from Dhaka, Bangladesh. According to, I knew that I'd seen this name around. He's been around for a while. Member since 2017. In 2 years of being on this board, you better have learned something. This better be pretty good. He and I have been friends since April, and he says he appreciates my sarcasm. We'll see once it's been turned on you. Like the intro, be yourself. That's all you can do. Yes. All right, Imrul Chowdhury. Chowdhury. Now, the question, as we see here, is a to what extent do you agree or disagree question. As you should have seen in my April video where I went through this, the first important part of a to what extent do you agree or disagree question is understanding and recognizing what it is that you have to agree or disagree with. And you better present that in the first part of the introduction to show that you understood the question. Well, yeah, as I said. Second thing you need to do is, well, first of all, in this sentence, in this question, the growth in populations in cities means that parks should now be used for residential. There are two parts to this statement. There is the premise and the thesis. The premise is not to be questioned. The premise is that there has been a growth in cities. Of course there has. This is not what you're being asked to agree or disagree with. The second part, that's the part. Everyone sees that. But, here also, do you need to discuss both sides of this issue? Do you need to present an argument for why we should get rid of parks? No, thankfully, you do not have to. However, it depends on your goals. Right. So, there's the question again. And you said, it is often argued, the number of people in cities is increasing significantly. Hence, city parks should be... Now, it is often argued that the number of people in cities is increasing significantly. No! It is not. That's not what's being argued. It's the second part. It's not argued whether... You see what I'm saying? You should. Because you should be able to recognize that, yes, the number of people in cities is increasing significantly. You live in Dhaka. You can see that all around you. Anyway, point being, it's the second part. Should be utilized to build apartments. Utilize, use slightly different meanings. Utilize means is physical. We don't utilize land. We use land. We utilize tools. And so it looks like we're trying to use the city parks to build, like literally to build. We use the parks to build something, no? Although that's really my only complaint about the introduction. Otherwise, it's fine. This graphic here was in the template that I used for this. And so I thought, what a great graphic. Let's just leave it here. Body paragraphs. Present, extend, and support your main ideas. First paragraph. Parks generally help to foster a sense of community in any society. We should go back and look at the... Okay, so this ends with, I believe parks are extremely important for society and the environment. Now, if you're going to begin the next paragraph without a cohesive device, which you don't have, there's nothing to connect them, you have to finish with you have to start with what you finished with in the last paragraph, which you don't. Parks generally help to foster a sense of community in any society. Good. Good topic sentence. I like it. Depends on actually whether or not you follow through with that. But here we go. People living in a society often meet and greet each other in the parks. Well, why did you choose to use meet and greet? It's a collocation. It's a rather informal one that we use, it's a chance that advertisers use because it rhymes. Hey, let's meet and greet at the park. It's kind of like you've chosen your sentence to fit that vocabulary. In the parks. Do not use the before a plural noun when speaking in general. It's article rule number 7. Or was it? Yeah, actually in Shelley's video, it's number 7 of the 7. I think it should be number 1, because it's the one that most people make mistakes with the most. The parks. No, it means in parks. We're speaking in general. And discuss various social or personal matters. Okay, now, a rich man's problem. Parallelism. Call it a rich man's problem because it's a higher grammar feature where, okay, so people, that's your subject, okay? So living in a society often meet and greet each other in the parks and discuss various social or personal matters. Well, I don't know if it's... I would rather it be like this. People, get rid of it. People often meet, discuss, meet each other and discuss various social or personal matters in the parks. Better that way. This conversation, what conversation? Did we specify? These conversations. Making them socialized. Animals are socialized. That's no, improper word choice. All right. Keep meeting in the community parks. Once again, we're talking about community parks in general, but we have no the there. Apart from that, how about along with that, young children could. Why are you shifting into the second conditional? Why a past tense there? Because you're talking about a future that is real or unreal. You're saying, by using past tense, it makes it unreal. Apart from that, young children can often spend their afternoons, why just the afternoon, in the parks to play with their peers. I don't think really children at that age, that peers is the right word. I think friends would be better. Peers. No, friends. And then you lose coherence here, which is highly recommended rather than spending the time. Highly recommended by whom? And what does that have to do with the question? right? I mean, you know why you're putting this in here? So that you can get to this. Playing video games. Oh, every essay must mention the evils of playing video games. Somewhere along the line, we have to put that in. Oh, video games are bad. Somewhere. Even in an essay about parks, this gets put in. I'm not saying you, Chowdhury, or whatever your first name is, in people, don't mention the evils of video games at the drop of a hat. Body paragraph number 2. Now this is a very good topic sentence. This is very good connection, very good cohesive device. Another area to consider is fantastic, awesome, good, is the environmental aspects of having a park or not having a park. Our cities are full of greenhouse gases. Well, the Lorax would say, the whole world is full of greenhouse gases. The Lorax would not be happy with just focusing on the cities here, which are largely reduced by trees, which are widely available in the parks. Available, just not the right word choice here. Okay? Yeah, it's the planet that's full of articles. Parks in general. No the parks. Just parks. Were these plants not absorbing the huge amounts of CO2 that we are producing daily, we would be dead now. We would be dead now. Okay, that's over the top. That's kind of like, don't ever use "we would be dead now." It's not academic. And the parks are keeping us from dying. Okay, well, in addition, all right, well, you're getting off the topic here, but all right. Help atmosphere for humans. They provide a habitat for many aminals. These are just plain old-fashioned spelling errors. And birds. Birds are animals too. So it's not animals and birds. Birds are animals. For many animals, including birds, who are an important part of our ecosystem. I don't know if that needs a hyphen. It would be, consequentially, a total disaster. Oh man, again, over the top. But you know what? It's okay. If you look at the band descriptors in task response, band 7, it says may include some overgeneralizations. Yeah, this kind of exaggeration easily qualifies as overgeneralization. You can't put stuff like, we'd all be dead by now, complete total disaster without the parks. You can't put that in there if you want to get an 8. You can still get a 7 with this nonsense, but what are your goals? Right? In conclusion, parks are needed for building a harmonious community and a clean environment. Therefore, I strongly oppose the idea of demolishing them for the sake of building new houses and offices. Also, in task response, at the band descriptors, there's a shift between 7 and 8, where it says, band 7, provides well-supported, yeah, indeed. Even though some of it was kind of silly, you have supported your ideas. Supported main ideas. Developed. Yes, you've developed and supported. But then in band 8, it talks about, provides a well-developed response. Not ideas, but response. And I think a response requires that you look at all sides. That you at least mention in passing. It could just be, whereas some people think that the large green areas are extravagant or too much, that we have no, let's not eliminate parks. That we need to reduce the size of our parks. The value of this land is too high to be wasted on squirrels and birds. Some people say that. Well, I think that they are uncaring, thoughtless individuals. Power to the squirrels. Anyway, if you want to get to 8, I think you got to present both sides. Yeah? All right. Chowdhury, Mr. Chowdhury. Like me on Facebook, IELTS Temple. I am Teacher Joko, so what's the goal? If you're going to want a 7, if you want to get a 7, no worries. If you want to get an 8, you got to do better.